Welcome back to my YouTube channel. The topic of today's video is what? Waiting. What are you doing? I'm waiting. You sure? You can skip lines, find means and methods that can get you what you want. I'm waiting. Really? How many months? How many years? How many days? I'm waiting. You sure? Pull up the gram. Check what your generation is doing. Check where your friends at. You see that, right? You see the house that took cars. You sure? I'm waiting. It's such an awkward conversation to have, because waiting is no longer a fashionable thing to do in this fast-paced world where everybody's trying to imprint their name on the map. Today's topic is waiting. As I said earlier, what is waiting? It is an aspect of life, or form of life that we all encounter in different ways or forms. Waiting involves staying in a particular place, in a particular location, until a particular action or event unfolds. It happens to everyone, but it's not the most shown part of people's life. Most people don't feel the nudge to share, take the selfie, take the video in the waiting period or the waiting time. Nothing is moving, nothing is happening. At that point, it's not as if waiting is their favorite word or action. It's not the time where they feel like pulling up the camera and say, "Oh, do you see the front right there? I'm not there yet." Why? Because I'm waiting. It's going to be my turn, son. The sky is big for everyone to fly. You know that, right? But does that make sense when you're waiting? When you're waiting for your turn? When you know the sky is big for everyone to fly? When you know the sky is big for everyone to fly? Does that make sense when you're waiting for your turn? I don't speak to you right now, right here, about an action that's not so sweet to be in. It happens intentionally and not intentionally. Waiting. And it can also be painful if anything bad happens to you while waiting. Now, let's go to the talk. I think let's just give you a recap of the whole entire stuff that happened a few minutes ago. I'm trying to give you a conversation, right, whereby you can have with a fellow colleague or a fellow friend, and you're trying to say, "Oh, I'm waiting," and they're like, "Oh, why? Why don't you have this? Why don't you have that yet?" You pull up the Instagram, and you see what your generation is doing, and you see how people have gone far, people are getting houses to cars and all those things, and you suddenly just can't have it because of your financial position, or because some things are not just working at the moment, which will eventually work out later on. Then how do you explain that to the world? How do you explain that in conversations? And waiting, the topic of today is waiting. Waiting is not a fashionable thing. Waiting is not the thing that everyone wishes to do or wishes to be in, but it's a thing, and it happens, and we have to talk about it. Personally, I'm an impatient person. I love speed. If it can be fast, why should it be slow? You should have seen from the way I talk. Alright? It's fast. But we need to talk about this. And I'm also learning to be patient. I'm also learning to have patience. I also want you to work with me. Let us work together on this journey of discovering patience. If you look at being fast and being slow, there's an emotion that speed carries, and being slow doesn't carry. When you are fast, you rumble around the emotions, you speed off, you don't get time to assess the emotions. But when you're slow, everything passes through you. You don't just pass through it in the speed of light. Everything passes through you, and you feel every single amount of emotion. Have you tried reversing a car before? When you do it fast, you just move, not considering every obstacle. You just consider it at the first glance and you move. But when you reverse a car slowly, you're going to look left and right, contemplate at every obstacle. Is this going to brush my car? Is this okay to move? And you consider every obstacle when you move slowly. But when you move fast, you just breeze through. Let me give you an assignment to carry out. Try an action fast and try it slow, and see the difference. Share what you gained, what you experienced in the comment section. This video will be continued next week. Stay tuned, like, share, and comment.